Record. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501. We've just come off an amazing 4-1 win against West Ham. I've got a happy Cam with me in Florida. Cam, welcome back. Good
Thank
result
you.
for us today.
Yes, it was Ray. Excellent. I mean, not expected after the first 30 minutes, but yeah, definitely.
Yep,
Good
yep,
to good to a win is a win, and it's always good to win.
yep. And now, normally they say about football, it's a game of two halves, and if never anything was more true, it was this match. So, talk me through the first half, and we went 1-0 down. We thought, oh, here we go again. What happened in the first half, and then I'll talk to you about the second half.
I mean, normally what we've seen with Angers teams is that the first 20 minutes have been pretty explosive. We usually overrun teams. We press very high. We get into their box. We get into their phases, and we normally that's a time when we will expect to take the game by the scruff of the neck and maybe get a goal or two. I thought at this time we didn't do that. I thought we did press. We did play pretty well, but chances created were few and far between. I mean, Brennan Johnson had a great shot which flashed across goal, which, I mean, basically that was him creating a chance from being in form as he was. It wasn't half a chance, but it looked pretty good. I thought they had the best chances as well. They probably had a better chance to score. I think it was Kudus who had a great chance that
Good save
Vicario
by Vicario. Yeah.
saved pretty well low down. And the game could have gone either way. And I thought that the West Ham had probably their tactics were better than ours in the first half. Madison couldn't hit a ball to save his life. His corners were flying all over the place. They weren't even, I mean, yeah, how can you be a quality player like that? I mean, everyone has an off day, but shooting, putting corners in that were just going out on the other side, passing every single player. It didn't happen once, it happened a few times. So it really looked like, oh, here we go again. It's not going to be our day. When they scored West Ham, it was defensive errors. Udoji was awful. The way he gave the ball away and the way that he played in such a high position. Brennan Johnson showed us what it means to be ball watching because he just stood there, watched the game go by as he then finally lunged in, but it was too late. And to be fair, it was a really good goal. It was well taken and it was well scored. And I think up to that point, Kudus was their best player.
But should Jared Bowen been able to get through past two Spurs defenders and cross it across? I mean, that was Van der Ven. I don't know who the other guy was, but that shouldn't be
I know
allowing
the
that
other
to
guy
happen,
was.
should we?
It was just, I mean, you could almost see it in slow motion, couldn't you, Ray?
Mm,
The way that we've been playing and the way that we did. And it smelled very much as if there we were, right back to how we'd started against Brighton. It felt like, it's just a continuation of that game.
yeah.
And very depressing, very sad. And I think this is a big problem for Spurs, isn't it? I mean, our defense, clean sheets, forget about it. Ain't
Mm.
gonna happen. What clean sheets, right? I mean, this whole is the Premier League the kind of place where you could play the Ozzy Ardiles style of football where they'll score 10, we'll score 11 type of game. We know what happened. It was great to watch in those days, if you can remember. Ray, I know you were only a young child then. But I mean, it was unsustainable.
Yeah.
Unsustainable. And I think in the Premier League, this is unsustainable football. You're going to win some, but you're going to lose the majority of them when you come up against a well-organized team. And giving West Ham that break, well, I mean, what can you
But it
take?
was good that we got back again with this Kulusevski. I thought had probably one of his best games ever for Tottenham. He was all over the place. And I just wanted to ask your thought about having Kulusevski playing in the number 10 role. Are you okay? Are you happy with that? Because he did really well today. But how's he going to do against better teams?
He did really well today, and I think that this is it, isn't it? I mean, you always watch Kulusevski, and you think that, if only his final ball would be just that little bit better, he'll be a
Mm,
world beater. If only his shots were just that little bit better, he'll be a world beater. He's the player that's almost there, but
mm,
not quite yet. Okay, what is he in his early 20s?
yeah.
So he's got time to progress, but you just feel why Kulusevski, this is your third season here. Why is it still that you have problems putting the ball in? And today, maybe he's being played out of position. Maybe he isn't being played right. And maybe he wasn't getting the consistency in the team. I think in the role that he played today, keep him there as far as I'm concerned all the way through. Because when playing out on the right as he normally plays,
Yep.
he's very ineffective. And yeah, he probably was the man of the match today, and it was a great goal. I mean, it was a great shot. Yeah, it was low and hard. Kulusevski normally is not a low and hard shooter, is he?
Mm,
He's really
no.
all up in the sky somewhere.
Mm.
But that was a great take.
Yep. Good goal. So we got one at half time, and then the tactical substitution I want to talk to you about because you slated Ange a lot for his lack of tactics. I want you to give me your thoughts on. this substitution, which to everybody else seems like it's worked wonders by bringing Papasar in and taking Madison off, and then putting Papasar and Basuma in the holding position, giving Kulusevski a license to go forward and create more. I mean, what do you think about that substitution, and why did it work so well?
I think one thing I'm going to say very clearly is that was it a forced substitution or was it the fact that
Well, he wasn't
Madison,
injured, so it's not a forced substitution.
but he played was playing so badly in that sense it was
Well, but
forced. He
he's
was
kept
out
it
of
on
form.
before when he's played
He
badly,
was,
so let's not. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, no, it needed to be done, but it also, I think, yes, we're going to give him credit for the substitution because they turned the game around. But we're also going to have to really accept the fact that if you're most teams, if you don't play them with two holding midfielders right now, they're going to overrun you. We've seen it in all the other games that we've had, and it's not rocket scientist to know that you're going to need a player there. Whether Ange finally gets it or not, I'm not actually convinced. I think that Madison's performance was so bad in the first half that he really needed to do something because let's face it, his back's up against the wall. This was Ange's make or break. If he didn't change something here now early on, right, I think that would have been the start of the rot falling out the bottom of the Ange barrel. To be honest with you, and he had to do it, so it worked. I think we had a real lot of luck. If you look at Bissouma's goal, it's only his second goal in Tottenham, his only second goal this season. It went through, I think it took a couple of deflections. The keeper got a hand to it. Could have gone anywhere. Anything could have happened. You have to be there to take that
good
shot.
play by Odogi to bring it back rather than
Very
whipping
good
it.
play by
Yeah, back.
Adobe. Good ball. Great play by Son. I
Yeah,
think the thing what I saw in the first half and the second half was a bad Son in the first half. Very inconsistent apart from one great shot he had, his typical shot where he
mm,
tried to curl it into the
yeah,
far post and almost missed that. I mean that's the Son's signature move, really. If it was a restaurant, that would be a signature dish.
yeah.
Um, but the thing that I would say is that in the second half, he really upped his game. I mean, I don't know what he said or what happened, but he was a different player altogether. First goal, again, hard work by Son. Second goal, I mean, in the third goal, in this sense, in the I'm talking about the second half, was again great. Not the best shot of all by Son, and a couple of lucky ricochets. It came from nowhere and it went in. But I really liked his fourth goal. I thought that he stepped over the play, confused the player, made a little bit of room for himself from a very tight angle, and he hit it with some venom, which gives me good feeling because it felt very much like the old Son was back there.
But he's the best finisher at the club. So to see him back finishing, scoring goals is great. And I think, as I said in the commentary, 2 weeks off, he's refreshed. It seems like he's refreshed. Now, hopefully, this is the start of things to come.
Consistency, Ray, consistency, and playing players in the positions where they're more comfortable. If Ange can get that right, we might get the best out of Son. He has a habit of playing Son in the wrong places. He has a habit of putting things in. But I want to talk to you about one other thing.
But let me,
Um,
before we start, what's the Sun's best position, though, in your view?
I mean, he plays on the left, doesn't he? For me, I think that. I mean, it's going to be really controversial there, but I think his best position is probably in the Solanke role.
Mm. Okay, sorry, go ahead. What you wanted to ask?
Well, I wanted to talk about. I think that West Ham are 12th in the table.
Yeah,
They've played 7 games. They were 2 points behind us. If they'd won, they'd been 1 point above us,
yeah.
right? And doesn't change anything in the sense, are we bottom half bullies? We're still
Well,
bullying a
we're
team.
still bullied them. Yeah, I mean, as you say, I need to see these types of performances against a better team like Chelsea, Man City. Arsenal, we're not going to do it against these teams, but if we can do it against the better teams like Aston Villa, etc., then yes, we may have turned the corner. But this is more of the same. We beat bottom half teams. I know we haven't beaten West Ham for 2 seasons, so it's a good win in that sense. I have to give Ange credit for making that change. At least he made the change. He didn't wait till like 10 minutes before the end of the game. He made it at halftime, which is good news, and we repaid him. I'm still worried about the defense. Porro was sort of didn't get back enough to save the goal. I think Romero played well. Van der Ven played well. Udogi, going forward, he's really good. Going back, he still needs a lot of work. But it's a work in progress. I think this is definitely a work. What do you think, Cam?
I mean, I think that this conversation would be very different if we'd lost.
Yeah, of course. It's the
I
same. Yeah.
think that if we were playing a much better team the way that we played in the first time, we'd have probably been overrun and we'd have been two down and the game would have been over.
Yep.
I think that West Ham are very weak at the back and their midfield is pretty weak. And, great that we beat them, but they've lost to Chelsea, they've lost to Manchester City, they've lost to Newcastle. I mean, not to
But
Newcastle,
you
to
say
Villa.
that, Cam, you say that, but then that happened last season. They lose to good teams. They come to Tottenham and they put a performance in and
They
they beat
do,
us
they
2-1.
do.
So at
And
least
it
this time
almost
we beat
happened
them. Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
It almost happened again. I think that Lopetegui got a
Lopetegui.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out, and he might not last. He might just outlast Ange. The question here is, right? Great, we're going to sit here over the weeks, right? And next week, next game is against. Well, we're going to play against City in the cup.
When's that?
That's on Wednesday, I think, Tuesday
Oh,
or Wednesday.
yeah.
That's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah.
And then, it's going to be doom and gloom again because Ange apparently is going to win a cup and he gets City in, in the Carabao Cup right on, so there you go. But it is at home and anything can happen. And I think if we win that, people will start believing in him again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a
Uh,
very important game. I didn't realize it so soon. I thought it might have been the week after,
yeah.
but
And then we've
if we,
got
now let me ask you a question before you go on. If we put our full, do you think Ange should put a full strength team out against City? Because they're not
yeah.
going to be full strength. They're going to be like, second strength team. What do you
They're
think?
going to have full strength players on the bench. They're probably going to have a 50-60% full team out. If he's serious about winning a cup, he's got to get past City. If he loses to City, he's just another joker as far as I'm
Yep.
concerned.
Yep.
Who just
Yep.
like promises stuff and doesn't deliver again.
Yep. Yep.
I think it
Understood.
will beat Palace away. We'll probably get a good result at Palace away because they ain't doing as well as they should. And then it's all back again. We got Villa after that, and it's a downward slope. So I mean, good win. I'm not holding out too much hope yet. I mean, we can't say that. Did he do the right tactics? Well, he had a bit of luck on his side. Sometimes you need that in this game. You create your own luck too. But it's West Ham who are below us. I want
Mm.
to start seeing us beating teams above
Okay.
us. And
All right.
that hasn't happened this season yet.
Mm. Understood. Understood. Final
Final
thoughts, Cam?
point.
Yeah,
Final point
final point.
is Solanke 65 million. You still buying it?
I think you need to give him a bit more time. As you said,
All right.
give him some time, give him some time, new surroundings, new team. If he's still like this sort of end of the season, beginning of next season, then yeah, I'm gonna have to say he's a waste of money. But I think give him the benefit of the doubt at the moment. He did a lot of good work, did some good assists, tried to do some assists anyway. So,
Zero shots
but,
off target or
but he's
on
not getting
target.
service, is he? What did your
Well, we
mate
scored
Richarlison do when he
goals.
came on? Did he do any
Someone's
better?
getting service. We scored 4 goals. Someone's
But
getting
did
service.
Richarlison do any better when he came on?
Absolutely not. I didn't even know he
So,
was on.
if I give you a choice of Richarlison or Solanke, who are you taking?
Son.
That's a good answer, man. That's a very good answer, I have to say. So, final thoughts, Cam, before we close the podcast. Thank you for your time again. What's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts are a must-win game for Ange, but second bottom of the table bullies. We need to be. I want to see this performance against a top 10 team. And I
Yeah,
know I'm not saying a top six or top three. I'm saying top 10 because I still think that's where we're at right now.
yeah. Can we win the league if we play like this in every game?
No.
Okay. All right, Cam. Thanks very much.
We win every game, we might, but are
Yeah.
we going to play that? If we play like this against Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle, we're going to lose. We've already lost to Newcastle, we've already lost to Arsenal, and the big ones are still to come.
Yeah. All right, Cam. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.